Hey everybody, welcome back to No Jumper News. It's Adam22 featuring AD. Let's get right into these stories. So first things first, several people were killed and injured in a series of mass shootings over the weekend in Buffalo, New York, Laguna Woods, California, and Houston, Texas. According to authorities, a white 18-year-old gunman opened fire at a supermarket in Buffalo, killing 10 people and injuring 3 more on Saturday. Of the 13 people who were shot, 11 were black, 2 were white. 4 of the victims were store employees. Some of the victims actively worked to serve their community. The suspect, who live-streamed the shooting on Twitch, is suspected of being the author of an online rant revealing his white supremacist ideas and plans to attack a black neighborhood in New York. The suspect has been charged with first-degree murder. If convicted, he would face a maximum sentence of life without parole. Officials have said that they are investigating the mass shooting as a racially motivated hate crime and are also considering a terrorism charge. Separately, the FBI is investigating the shooting as both a hate crime and racially motivated violent extremism. The evidence we have uncovered so far makes no mistake. This is an absolute racist hate crime that will be prosecuted as a hate crime. This is someone who has hate in their heart, soul, and mind, said Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia. According to authorities, the alleged gunman drove more than 200 miles from his small village of Conklin, New York, to East Buffalo the day before the attack to perform reconnaissance on the grocery store.
Next story. A man who opened fire during a lunch reception at a Southern California church on Sunday was detained by church attendees, who was called their intervention an act of exceptional heroism and bravery. The suspect in the shooting, an Asian man in his 60s, was in custody, and deputies recovered 2 handguns at the scene. Under Sheriff Jeff Hollick said a motive for the shooting wasn't immediately known, but investigators don't believe the gunman lives in the community, Hollick said. The majority of those inside the church at the time was believed to be of Taiwanese descent, said Carrie Braun, a sheriff spokesperson. Between 30 and 40 people were gathered for lunch after a morning church service when a gunfire erupted shortly between 1:30 p.m. local time. When deputies arrived, parishioners had the gunman hogtied and in custody. A man died at the scene and 5 senior citizens were wounded, officials said. 4 of the people wounded suffered critical gunshot injuries.
In addition, authorities say that 2 people were killed and 3 others were injured in a shooting at a crowded Houston flea market on Sunday. According to Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, the shooting at the open-air market was the result of an altercation involving at least 2 guns and all 5 people. No innocent bystanders were injured, he said. Investigators believe that one of the people hospitalized was among those who opened fire, and 2 more suspected shooters were detained at the scene, a sheriff deputy told a local news outlet. When the shooting started about 1 p.m. Sunday, thousands of people were shopping at the market 14 miles north of Houston's downtown. Multiple bullets were fired, according to the sheriff, and deputies seized 2 firearms from the site. Authorities could not immediately disclose any details on what led to the shooting, but they did say that all the people involved were guys in their 20s who appeared to know each other. So we got 3 different shootings here, and I mean, there's all kinds of shootings happening all over the country because we were downtown doing this content with Gary Vee, and a guy got smoked 2 blocks away from us in Dover Street Market. So shit, you know, when they say when it's hot outside, that's a good enough reason. I mean, I guess it's getting hotter and people just decided to go crazy because you have 3 different shootings here. One in Laguna Woods, which is a part of the OC that we don't actually know who did it or why they did it. Then you have this other one, which was like a totally racially motivated hate crime. And then you have this other one in Houston where we don't really know what the motivations were, but it sounds like it was some kind of gang-related activity or at least some sort of clash between personalities that wasn't necessarily terrorism or anything like that. A lot of people saying that we need to ban guns, as usual. They always try to leap on these as opportunities to try to take our freedoms away. But yeah, I don't really know what kind of conclusion we can draw since these all seem so different.
It's sad, man, in 2022, we still have to deal with racist motivated attacks. And, you know, what's more messed up about almost all of these shootings, that there were elderly people that were being hit. And it's sad, you know what I'm saying? Like, when this stuff happened, I was thinking about, like, what if, you know, my grandma was shopping at the grocery store or something like that, and somebody can just, you know, with hate in their heart come and do something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's extremely sad, and I think the latter should be that more people should be able to get armed to protect themselves, because when you got maniacs like this running around and want to do stuff, man, people can't protect themselves. And they didn't say nothing about it in the script, but I heard about the security guard that lost his life there. He actually fired at the gunman, and, you know, the gunman had body armor on. So, you know, he wasn't wounded by it, but, you know, he tried to protect the people in the grocery store. So, you know, prayers go out to his family and all the families that was lost.
And I saw that there was a thing in his manifesto where he actually talked about one of the reasons for him targeting Buffalo was because he knew that there were extremely tight gun laws there, so that there would be very, very few people who would be able to stop him or fire back at him, which is really, really sinister and kind of fucked up, and I guess sort of tells you something about how we should view this.
And man, get the hate out your heart, man. I don't get it, man. This is, like I said, it's 2022. The world is a different place. You know, race, whether you're gay, straight, trans, all that shit, man. You know, the world just needs to get along, man. We should all be able to coexist, no matter who you are, what you believe, whatever you got going on and shit. But it's just sad to be seeing this, and it seems like more. I don't know, bro. More people are just shooting, just crazy. Like, the gun laws is so messed up, and they have to do something about it because this can't keep going on. And it's probably not going to be until a politician family member get struck by something like this for them to even want to change things. This shit is all messed up.
Final story. Over the weekend, news emerged from the 80-plus page YSL RICO filing that Young Thug has been under investigation for several years. Alleged details of Young Thug's wiretap conversation have been released, and it does not look good for Thugger. According to the paperwork, Thug was caught on wiretap discussing street activity and could be heard asking, "Y'all ain't beat him up or shot him yet?" Thugger said on the wiretap, "Y'all boys getting soft." Prosecutors believe that two associates of YSL, Christian Eppinger and Antonio Sumlin, worked to get permission of Young Thug to make a second attempt to murder YFN Lucci while he was still behind bars at Fulton County. As we previously reported, in addition to the attempted murder charges, the indictment includes RICO charges as well. Thugger was hit with charges of conspiracy to violate the RICO Act and participation in criminal street gang activity. Thug has been denied bail and will likely remain locked up until trial. However, his lawyer recently filed an emergency motion to get him released immediately on bond, saying that he is being subjected to dungeon-like jail conditions. His attorney, Brian Steele, says that Thug is being held in total isolation in a windowless cement compartment with only a bed and a toilet. Yeah, so what they're saying is that this was not a phone call between Thug and somebody else over the jail line. This was done over a cell phone, and anyone who's been to prison or talks to people who've been in prison knows that one of the #1 ways that they get phones into prison is through the COs, through the guards. They basically can get paid a lot of money to sneak phones in to the prisoners. And there's rumors, I'm not 100% sure if this is true, that those guards might have been giving phones to the prisoners that were already tapped. So they didn't necessarily have to have Young Thug's phone tapped, because they're giving tapped phones to the prisoners, getting paid for it, and then they basically just get to find out about everything that's happening in the criminal underworld, which is kind of fucked up. Also seems a little bit genius if that's your job, is to stop crimes. But man, the Thug situation looks worse and worse by the day. The evidence just seems like it might be a little bit too much for him to overcome.
Yeah, and once again, I don't know why this wasn't in the script, man. R.I.P. to Lil Keed, man. You know what I mean? Just with this indictment happening and then Lil Keed passing away right after, bro, that shit is... that is crazy.
Black cloud over the whole YSL thing. I mean, we still don't even know what happened to Lil Keed. There was some statements that were put out that said that it was kidney failure, or liver failure, whatever. I mean, I was watching his old interviews, and he was talking about how he didn't really do drugs like that, but you kind of wonder if maybe he was overcompensating for the fact that like all of his fellow recording artists just got locked up. Maybe he was just feeling the pressure and got fucked up. But I don't want to say that because we don't actually know if he overdosed or what. But I mean, rest in peace to Lil Keed, too. It just seems like this is such a fucked up weekend. There's so much bad shit happening.
Man, YSL, man. Prayers go out to y'all.
Big prayers. YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will be back real soon. Appreciate y'all.